thank you to our patrons for helping make this podcast possible.
What's going on, everyone? 5 a.m. Rav here. Surprise! We've got a very special episode for you guys this week. A special guest, FrankJavCee. Frank and I actually recorded this episode back in January of this year, but we never ended up putting it out. So a lot of the things that we talk about in this episode are obviously, understandably, going to be outdated. In particular, our accents. This episode has no Bill. You're welcome. Bill couldn't make it for that recording back then because he was in the process of moving to Philly, where he lives now. Anyway, I think that's enough exposition. You are now tuning in to VOIDFM. Welcome back, everyone. This is your boy Rav. You are now tuning in to the VOIDFM podcast. And today I've got a very special guest, FrankJavCee. What up, Frank?
Hello, everyone. It's me, FrankJavCee.
A lot is going on. A lot has been going on that I should probably preface this podcast episode with. Bill and I have tried recording a return episode twice now. The first time he had technical difficulties and we had to stop. Second time around, I was the one with the audio difficulties. We recorded a full-on episode and a full Patreon episode, and all of my audio got corrupted.
That sucks. Don't you hate when that happens?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes I think it's a sign from the universe that like it's not that information wasn't supposed to get out there.
Have you ever met anyone who was bald who disappointed you?
Not
Besides
yet.
Bill?
I would hope not. Bill's bald?
What happened to Bill?
Yeah, that's what all the fans are saying.
That's what everybody's asking. What the hell? Mitch is gone. Where's the other baldy?
Yeah.
What the hell? He's in the middle of moving. He's moving to Philly. He's going to become Filipino.
That's great. I love that for Bill. I've always seen, like, with that time we went to Jollibee together, like, it just works, you know?
Yeah, he's like, oh, he's so at home here.
Yeah. And he's, like, really good at speaking Tagalog. Like, I was like, wow. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's been studying it.
Yeah. I think Bill, I don't know if he's moving next week or what, but I know that he's moving a lot of stuff and he's unpacking packing his studio up and everything. So for this week, I think it would be easier for me to do the podcast episode without him.
Yeah, yeah. And then he'll come back and everyone will be happy.
Yeah.
So why am I here, Rav?
Why are you here, Frank?
Yeah. I mean, I said, can I come over? And he said yes, and then I showed up. But also, I didn't know.
That's the lore.
Can I say like roughly where we're at?
Yeah, you can.
Like, I found out Minnesota had its own airline called Sun Airlines, and it's like 1/3 the price of all other flights.
That's what I use.
Yeah, so you could just like it's so affordable to come here.
Yeah,
I never realized that, so that's how I got here.
People should come and visit me all the time.
Yeah, it's easy now that I know. Yeah.
Do you have other plans? You're not in this region just for me, are you?
No.
Well,
I like to, what's the word? I'm a very efficient person.
Yeah.
So if I'm in the area, I'm going to be like, I have friends in these spots. Let me hit them up. Because I don't want to be on a plane for like 6 hours, you know?
2 birds, 1 stone.
Yeah.
I saw a tweet the other day. Bird 1. Bird 2. It's okay. He's only got 1 stone.
That's so sad. That's their last like conversation. So yeah, I'm gonna play Washington. It's the DMV area MagFest. I'm gonna be at MagFest. So I'm DJing the Pose nightclub on Friday, and that's gonna be fun. I don't know when this episode is out, but if it happens or not.
It'll be out by Wednesday.
Yeah. Okay, so then that would be in the past.
Oh damn! So it will have happened. Yeah.
Wait, no, actually, this Wednesday.
Yeah.
Then no, it's not going to happen yet.
Oh yeah, you're still here.
Yeah, I'm still here.
You're going to be here when it comes out.
Yeah, so we don't know what's going to happen yet.
Yeah,
but I know it's going to be fun. MagFest people turn up. They have a lot of love. It's a lot. It's very community. It's very like, I don't know. You know, me and you like nerd culture, geek culture. It's like we've been talking about like furry cons and like they let loose. They have fun. So it's like I want to be more surrounded by people with niche interests that also has music as like it's like, you know, backbone. So it's like everywhere you has like a music event. So that's where I've been going to more conventions, just meeting more people, going out. And then back to LA. And then I have my birthday party on February 8th is my actual birthday on Saturday. In benefit of the Los Angeles wildfires, I'm going to match all the ticket sales from that. So whatever you make ticket wise, I'm going to match that and then donate it to a cause. It's
that's awesome.
Yeah, let me look it up actually, because I not on the top of my head, I remember I contacted a lot of people like which one's the best one that I should give money to, or like needs the best like resources and is the most credible, because like my first ever like charity show was like the Coney 2012 stuff, so like that one left a really bad taste in my mouth, doing all this stuff for it, you know. And then
oof, yeah. Oof, yeah. You did all that, and then fucking Obama became president in 2012. What the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called the LA Mutual Aid Program, and it's like nonprofit, independent, so it's gonna be fun.
Awesome. That's awesome. Very proud to see you doing your thing. And
then I'm also DJing Palestinian Children Relief Fund on the week after in Baltimore.
Let's go.
So I'm going to promote that soon. Then I got a DJ gig in Detroit. My first time in Detroit. I'm really excited for that because like, it's the birthplace of house and like techno, and I want to see what this culture is out there. I've never really been to Michigan, so I want to, just like visit new states I haven't been in. And then this summer I'm going to be at Anthrocon in Pittsburgh and FWA in Atlanta. So 2 furry cons. I'm going to dress up as a tiger and run around.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's sick. Hell yeah. How you like in Minneapolis?
I like it so far. I mean, I liked it during the summer. Right now, like I love the wet, like I love experiencing sub-zero temperatures because I get to feel what that feels like. I mean, we were only outside for like, like at most like 2-3 minutes. But I was like, yeah, if I had to be outside for full time, I'd like, I felt the damage already taking place. I was talking to my dad yesterday, and he's like, oh, yeah, don't flick anyone's ear in the cold because it'll break off. Have you heard that before?
No.
Yeah?
I've never heard that.
So he heard like a long time ago that if you're in like sub-zero temperatures and like, your extremities are cold, like I felt my nose, my fingers, like everything that like could fall off, like already like the biting bitterness of frost coming to it and just taking it. But apparently if your ear gets frozen and someone flicks it, you could just shatter your ear.
I mean, that's true with anything that's frozen. Why would your ears freeze? If your ear freezes at that point, it's like...
Well, you see, my family has ear trauma. So my great uncle had huge ears and a bee stung it and he died.
That's right. You showed it to... That was so... I'm so sorry. That's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
You showed me the picture and this guy had the biggest ears on him, Yeah. Like that's... It was sort of like a landing strip for bees.
Yeah. And he was just allergic to bees, and that's how he found out, because a bee stung his huge ears, and
he had no idea until he got stung.
Yeah, and it was like the 50s or 60s or something.
Yeah, that's back when bees were more aggressive.
Yeah, and people's ears were more sensitive. They weren't as woke as they were today,
Yeah. People are way too woke these days, right?
Yeah,
that's what you say all the time.
I love being awake. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
Like when people are anti-woke, it's like, why do you want to sleep? Why are you sleeping on everything?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Why are you trying to be not aware? Why are you trying to be honk shoeing?
Yeah.
And me meing.
Yeah. I like dreaming though. I haven't had any dreams in your house yet.
It's probably the weed.
Yeah, that, and also I think it's just like a holy space.
Thank you.
I feel like this is like a save point. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
The whole place, I'm just like saving all the time.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I want this to be a sort of for my friends to take refuge here, this to be a safe checkpoint.
Yeah, it's a good checkpoint. Like
save your progress.
Yeah.
Before you move to the next, quest.
We saw Nosferatu together.
We saw Nosferatu. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And you made me watch.
I forced you. I held you.
You suggested we watch Dracula in '92 the day prior, and I'm glad we did because it prepared me. Because there's a lot of beats that matched between the two
same
movies.
story. They just changed the names and like simplified characters.
Right, yeah. And so because I got to see the 92 Dracula version, I kind of like, as we were watching the Nosferatu, I was like, oh, that character's that character. And this is that. Okay, yeah.
I liked how in the 90s they had like the obviously like nipple titty scenes. And those were like the ones where it's like, oh my God.
I was saying that yesterday where it's like, everybody says Nosferatu's horny.
Yeah.
But after watching Dracula, it felt so like not horny by comparison.
Less horny.
It felt conservative almost comparatively because the 92 version was so horny.
Yeah, but here's the difference. Like, here's the groundbreaking 30 years of progress that we had. So in the 92, there was like, oh, look at all these nipples. And like, what was it? They were like sucking his wrists or something.
Right.
But like in the modern version, what did we see? Flaccid vampire cock.
That's right.
And like that, we haven't seen that
and
ever.
He was, spoilers, sucking blood from a dude and like his whole body
he was just
gyrating.
like grinding and gyrating on it. He was bouncing on it and moaning.
He was bouncing on it and moaning. He was definitely dry humping the air. Air humping? I don't know.
I mean, when you do that when you eat all the time, I saw you're like eating ramen earlier. Just like...
No, the locals hate me whenever I go out to eat. You know? It's fucked up, but
I'm
whatever.
sorry.
Yeah. I think I wonder I wonder how many people have seen the 92 Dracula and how they feel it stacks up. I liked both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're each different reasons. Like, I like 92. I liked how more fantasy, and I liked the costume design. It was done by a Japanese designer. I forgot her name, but like, it was so fantasy. It's like, costumes don't exist. Like, also there was like a time difference that took place in the 1890s, but like, he's wearing like blue sunglasses. Like, I don't think sunglasses existed like that at that point. Yeah.
Yeah. But I really loved how it was all practical effects for the most part.
Yeah.
And if you're a film student or someone who's into the idea of maybe, filming, I think you could really appreciate that movie, just how like creative the workarounds were for certain things,
Like, that's why I wanted to show it to you, because like I know you have like a distinct visual eye, and I like showing people stuff where I was like, hey, do you want to see like where it gets freaky? I want to show you the Holy Mountain. The Holy Mountain's a banger. Okay. That's the one I told you about, where it's like the producers of the Beatles, like the Beatles, this is called Apple Corporation. They just gave like a random Venezuela, I think he's from Venezuela, South American or Colombia, like director. There was like, hey, here's $10 million, make your dream film. And it's like a whole film about the occult, capitalism, and like it has like fascist themes. Like, it was very much post World War II, like 60s, 70s. But I think it resonates today with like the main like magic trick at the end is like really, I guess, thought provoking. It's like, we were talking about this earlier. Like, I was saying, oh yeah, I like art where it's like it's an artist drawing a hand creating themselves. Yeah. Yeah, like this kind of like infinity loop of creation.
Oh, and we also watched Tokyo Godfathers.
We watched it on stream.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll cut that part. Let's cut that part out.
Why?
I don't want to snitch on myself. The VODs doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to watch movies
We did
on
say
stream.
a lot of spicy things on that stream, because you were just like, hey, let's do shots of Henny every time we die. And there was a game where you died like every like frame. Yeah. So I had a good time. You know what it is I feel like I don't remember it as much though. Yeah, like I don't remember how many shots of Henny we did. We did like 5
or 6. Yeah.
Yeah. So then after like the Henny took over, we let the Henny talk last night. Yeah, it was such a good film that we didn't watch on stream.
Yeah, yeah. It's such a good movie that we just watched together as friends.
Yeah.
Free?
Yeah.
What do you mean free?
Like the movie, like you could just watch it for free.
if you have Amazon Prime that you pay for.
Okay. Well, there's ways. You'll find ways. Shouts out Satoshi Kon.
Rest in peace, Satoshi Kon. But it's a classic movie, Tokyo Godfathers. It's one of my favorite works by him, and it's my favorite Christmas movie.
Yeah.
It's my go-to Christmas movie.
I felt like I've seen most of Satoshi Kon's work. I felt like that was his most commercial. Like it did have dreamlike elements, but everything was grounded in this world where it was like, oh yeah, it was fantastical, but there was like a sense of realism in it. And so that was one thing I appreciate. It's also like a capsule to like early 2000s Japan, and like what it looked like, the technology, the aesthetics, and everything. But yeah, I love Satoshi Kon's work. I love the dreamlikes.
It is one of his least surreal works, you know, in terms of how he presents it. So I see what you're saying.
I think the surrealness comes from like the synchronicity of like, oh, coincidentally, just because they were there.
Yeah.
And also I love the representation it had. It had like a lot of minority immigrants and also their struggles, and made them look like real people instead of just background characters, where it's like, yeah, the main characters did have flaws, like where you find out like, oh, one of the characters had been lying, and it's like, but they had their reasons for everything. Like there isn't a reason, like they're all complicated individuals.
Yeah, and one of the main characters is trans, which still doesn't happen often enough, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But back then, you know, it feels like way ahead of its time, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like those tweets, like she was a trans character, but she also had complex depth and history within the world. She wasn't like a one-dimensional character for the story.
Yeah.
And she was also like the main character, you know? She's the one that really set the motion of the action of the film.
Yeah.
And then also the translation stuff was a little funny when we were reading that.
Oh, yeah, because we didn't watch the dub. We watched the sub because that's the only thing that was available. And
let's just say it was outdated.
They took some liberties. Yeah, they took some creative liberties with the verbiage.
But we got to watch Millennium Actress. You haven't seen that one.
I have.
Oh, you have?
I think I have.
That's the one where it's like they
Mm-hmm.
news crew interviews an old actress, and as she's telling her story, like they run through it like they're inside.
Yeah. I would love to rewatch it.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
I love all of Satoshi's work.
Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah.
Shouts out to anime.
Shouts out to anime.
You know, have you ever seen like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
I'm familiar.
Yeah, you know that's anime
Oh?
because it was handcrafted in Japan. So like all the people that did the actual animation was a Japanese studio, so technically it's anime.
Is that what technically makes something anime if it was basically animation that's made in Japan?
Well, there's
right?
a big issue right now, like where a lot of people are like it has to be made by Japanese hands, but then some people are like, I made an anime inspired work.
Yeah.
And like it's definitely derivative of anime styles and Japanese culture, but it's like at what point does anime, like we were talking about this the other night when I was like, oh yeah, it's indie. And to you, your interpretation of indie was an independent, like it was all self-funded, whereas like some people see indie as like aesthetic and vibe.
But that's why I'm like aesthetics and vibes, especially when it comes to independent stuff, almost kind of pisses me off.
Yeah.
Because it's like the commodification of the struggle.
Yeah.
Like being indie, it's cool because it's like DIY and you have creative control. But the reality is also being independent means like having to wear a lot of hats and not having like proper funding and basically operating on your own with like a direct access to your fans, no middleman, right?
Yeah.
So when people take that and like, yeah, that's kind of cool, and they're like base their appearance, their aesthetics off of that, or the sound off of that, and then call it indie, that to me is like, not to sound like a 90s person, but that's some poser shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
you're so very concrete with how you like define things. That's something I've always noticed about you.
I don't judge others for it, but when they don't agree with me, this is where I stand.
I remember we were talking about content. Do you remember this conversation?
Yes.
I was like, I love the word content.
I hate the word
content. And you
content.
hate the word content. And I was like, okay.
Because, you know, I don't know if we ever talked about it on the podcast before, but to me, the idea of a content creator just sounds like it's, maybe because it sounds like a job that I hate. It
diminishes the like work, the creativity, the art.
Why not call them just artist? You know, like content creator makes it. Content is something that is consumed. Content is for the consumer. It's for the audience.
Yeah, it's food.
It's food. Whereas like art to me is just like art is art. And so when someone's like a content creator, that means like you are a person who is serving a thing to a needy audience or whatever, right? And I think that just like I don't like
I
how that comes
remember
across.
a conversation early on when in my 20s, I was like texting someone. They were like a much older person. And I was like, well, they were like, what do you do? And I was like, oh, I'm an artist. And they're like, oh, so what do you draw? I'm like, sometimes I draw, but my main thing is like music. And they're like, you're not an artist, you're a musician. And I was just like, who are you, random person on the internet trying to strike up a conversation and define me? So there was a moment where like I was having dinner with my friends in Portland, and one of them said something to me like, oh, you're this. And I forgot what it was. It was just like some random thing. And I was like, no, I'm not. You don't define me. I do. Yeah. And I remember that was like kind of like a learning experience for me where I was like, you know what? I shouldn't be defined by other people. Like someone could say like, I'm this or I'm that. But like at the end of the day, only I can identify what I choose to be. Right. You know?
Yeah. I agree.
So that's why now on going forward, I'm FrankJavCee. That's a word I created.
When people ask you, what do you do? Right.
I make it really simple for them. I'm like, oh, I make music.
Is that simple?
Yeah, it's super simple. Music is the simplest way to say that.
I feel like that's not simple. In my experience, I've stopped saying that years ago.
Yeah, what do you say?
I'm a rapper. Mm-hmm. That's more simple.
Yeah, for you.
Because if you say I make music, they're like, what do you play?
And I say everything.
Oh, okay. Damn. Yeah, okay. I guess you could do that.
Yeah, and then like when it's like, oh, what do you prefer? I'm like, oh, sometimes I DJ. Sometimes I do karaoke. So I play saxophone. You know, like I just say music's my life. And we've talked about this before where I was like, when I said I was going to live a musical life, like I'm going to accept all music. Yeah. Sorry, I'm grabbing the keep talking. Okay. Rav just left the room. To get a... Keep talking. Yeah, I know, but I need what's it called? Feedback. I need to know you're there.
That's fair.
Like,
my bad.
You know, like when I talk to myself, like when I'm alone, like I don't really say much.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I can have full conversations, but it's like it's boring. I'd rather talk to someone.
Yeah.
So like that's why I'm always calling someone when I'm alone.
Yeah.
Like if I didn't really have a strong network of people that could just pick up at any time, I'd probably be streaming a lot. Mm-hmm. And I'd be like, chat.
Yeah, I'd stream a lot.
What should I order for breakfast? You know what? I would love to have cameras all throughout my house, but like not like in a way where it's like creepy and I'm being filmed 24/7, but just the ability to turn them on, like kitchen stream.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I'd like to do.
Do they have like wireless GoPros you could just set up everywhere that just like USB charge?
Yeah, but also like I have wireless cameras. Like this is a wireless camera too. They as a webcam they work really great.
Yeah.
So sometimes I use my phones as webcams.
Yeah.
Going back to the point right before that, I think the difference is between me and you. Like for you, saying musician makes sense. For rappers, I feel like when you say musician, it's like you're almost hiding behind that. Yeah, you know, like as if like being a rapper is some sort of like dirty little secret.
Dirty little secret.
Yeah, like oh, I make music. Oh yeah, what do you play? Vocals.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, what kind of music? Rap music. Oh, so you rap? Yeah, I'm a rapper. Like you're just taking a scenic route. Yeah, you know, and I think
well, that's where you put all your stats in. Like as we level up our RPG, like you put all of your stats into rapping. Yeah. Whereas like I kind of feel like I put like I well balanced everything. Yeah, music producer.
I mean,
musician.
I produce. I mix. You know, I do a bunch of things, but yeah, for sure. Primarily it's rap. Also, I'm proud of it. It's like the culture that raised me and helped me become the person that I am. So I don't hide from it. I think at one point I was just worried that people would be very dismissive of me if I was like, I'm a rapper. Uh-huh. But now I'm at a point where like, okay, if you're going to dismiss me like that, then it's like, I've sussed you out. Yeah. Now I know I can dismiss you. Yeah. You know? But it took me a while to get to that point.
That's something we were talking about earlier about like just validation. Like I no longer seek external validation for my own work. Yeah. So it's like before I was like, do you like me? Who likes me? But now I'm like, if you don't like me, then like that says more about you than me. Like you don't have to like me. And if you do like me, then that says a lot about you. Then I want to be around you more.
Do you think it's like a part of growing up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm already getting started on my Unk album.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your Unk era looking like?
I don't know. I probably me more chill.
More chill?
Yeah. How much more chill can I get? I'd love to release like a yacht rock album.
You are pretty chill.
Yeah.
I feel like we've hung out together where I was more chill than you.
When?
There's been times where like something would be happening, you'd be like, "What the hell's going on?"
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of like so dissociated that I'm just chilling.
We were also going through a lot of like we crossed paths during a lot of dark times in our lives.
That's true.
And then like we would just be like, "Hey, do you want to think about it and like have fun instead of like being mopey?"
Yeah.
So we'd go out and adventure and do stuff. We still talk about it. We talk about our feelings, process our emotions. I remember one time you were asking me like, you're like, "What kind of aura do I have?" And I was like, straight up, it's just like a dark aura around you, a heaviness. Like I wasn't gonna like sugarcoat and be like, "Oh, I see crystals and shit." Like
I'm glad you didn't. You know me. I prefer people who are more direct with me.
Yeah.
But I remember it like stuck with me because you were like the second or third person around that time to have said that. You know,
Yeah.
And I was like, "Damn, really?" And
is your
now
eye okay? Do you need eye drops?
No, I'm good. But now it's like I feel like it's it's different.
Yeah. Now you're very, it feels like very grounded, very home. I feel very like, you remember I said this earlier and you were like, "What do you mean by this?"
Which one? What did you say?
When I was like, "Oh, you have a very brown aura."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because like that was your first thought, but I meant like, oak tree, like,
I appreciate that.
like-
Well, my home, I put a lot of brown and green stuff around, as you may have noticed, so it is a compliment.
It feels more comfortable. It feels like at home, like we're here to be chill,
Mm-hmm.
So that's like our whole time has been just cozy.
Yeah, I
We've
agree.
been cozying up, watching movie.
It's also just nice because anytime we hang out, neither one of us puts a guard up.
Yeah. Like last night, we were like after the stream, I felt like we had some of the most honest conversations we've had in a while.
That was so good. I really enjoyed our conversation after the stream. It felt like a good bonding time.
Yeah,
you know, for sure. It's a shame that Bill's not around. I feel like not a shame.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got to bond the way that we have.
Yeah.
I feel like I am closer to you than Bill is to you.
Yeah. I
that's
mean,
right,
I would
Bill. Eat
only
your
see
heart out,
I would
Bill.
only see Bill like a couple times. There's
Yeah,
like
that's right.
only I want to say in my life like 2 times there was just like me and Bill hanging out.
What the fuck? You've hung out with him without me?
Yeah,
around?
like once or
What?
twice. And I took a picture. I remember I was like, "Let's take a selfie." And he was wearing like a Faku shirt,
Yes, yes.
And I was wearing a Garfield shirt, and I was like, "Let's look directly in the sun and take a selfie." So I have like a picture where we're just like,
What the fuck? When did y'all hang out without me? That's so messed up.
I'll look it up and like we'll probably find out.
Oh,
why.
it's probably no. I can't think of a time when that's so.
You might have
fucked up.
been there, but I don't know where you would have been. It was just
Yeah.
like me and him just hanging out.
That's so fucked.
Yeah.
That's so fucked. What?
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know
though.
like you were that controlling. You were that possessive of your
I
friends.
am. Yeah, I am. But what I do say, it's a shame Bill isn't here. I do like it when the three of us hang out.
Yeah, I wish we
fun.
hung out more so I could like get the vibe more. I feel
Yeah.
like we'd make a cool chord
Yeah.
because we all have our own strengths and like I was gonna say our own weaknesses.
Well, Bill, I feel like
Yeah.
you and I are like very talented, strong hairlines.
Yeah.
We need something to counteract that.
Yeah.
The strong hairlines and the talent.
Uh-huh.
And I think Bill offers like a nice balance to that, you know?
Yeah. So it becomes like an equilateral triangle.
Yeah. No, but you're right.
But you know what it is?
I do agree
Also,
with
like
you.
I feel like me, you, and Bill, like our heights, like creates like like I feel like I'm in the middle. Of
I don't know what you mean. Oh yeah, you are between. Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice, honestly. No.
Yeah. Me neither.
Yeah, that's true. I always forget that. I never think of you as tall.
Yeah, a lot of people when they meet me, they're like, "You're a lot taller than I thought you'd be," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Why do you think I'm so tiny coated?"
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. But even when I hang out with you, you don't feel tall. Like I know you're 6 foot tall.
Mm-hmm. But hanging out, you don't really be like jumping and hopping around.
honestly, I usually don't notice most people's height.
Yeah.
Unless it's
I
like
kinda
6'4" or
if
higher.
it's like, yeah, crazy.
If it's like 6'3", like if it's even Bill's height,
yeah.
it doesn't feel that tall to me. I
Yeah.
know that sounds weird to say, but I guess I grew up around a lot of tall people, so like I look at it a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I hang out with a lot of short people.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course you do, because you're in LA, so you have a lot of probably like Mexican and Asian friends.
Yeah.
So Mexican, Filipino, Korean. These are like, you know, people who are on the shorter side.
Yeah.
Generally speaking. So shouts LA for that, you know? Shouts out my short
I
kings,
like
queens,
the
and
diversity of Los Angeles. Because you get like the most extremes of people. Like everyone goes there. We were talking about this the other day where I was like, oh yeah, some like schizophrenic homeless guy one time told me that Los Angeles was the throat chakra of the world. So whatever gets said in LA goes around the globe.
That's sick. I once on stream got approached by a man who wanted to smoke some weed. I was smoking weed, so he asked if he could take a hit.
Yeah.
I just gave him the whole palm. And he was telling me about how California is the greatest country in the world. He had a really thick accent. I think he was from like Chile or Peru or something.
Oh, you told me about this. You were like in the, what's it called? Did it get weird? Like it was on stream?
It was on stream, but I was trying to, I made sure that it wasn't really pointing at him. And he was like, do you have a bachelor's? And I'm like, no, I actually dropped out of college. He's like, you don't have a bachelor's. I have a bachelor's.
Yeah, yeah.
You will have no good job. I'm like, I'm doing all right for myself, you know? And he's like, me? And he was like homeless.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
bro, where's your bachelor's, you know? Put you
Oh, you know what that reminds me of? One time I was at Jack in the Box. It's like a cursed Jack in the Box. Like a lot of shit goes down there.
Yeah.
Like the worst thing that happened at that Jack in the Box was like a police guy got shot in the head just like randomly.
Yeah.
And so like that's Jack in the Box is just like kind of cursed.
Yeah.
It's at the corner of what is it? Alhambra Road and Valley. If you know, you know. But I was there and I was just like getting a drink and a guy comes up to me and he's like, you go to school?
Ugh.
Yeah, and so this is like early, like I told you, like when I was like 24, I looked like I was 16.
Yeah.
So I would get like random mixed messages. And I was like, no. He's like, you should go to school. And I was like, why? And then he was like, because you'll get educated. You'll make money, blah, blah, blah. But it was like a random guy in his 40s just trying to talk to me.
Yeah.
And like, I assumed maybe he thought I was like, you know, a teenager out of school.
A cocky teenage Latina?
Yeah, a cocky teenage Latina. And like, you should be in school. But I was like, no, I'm literally 24 and I just dropped out. And like, I have a YouTube career right now. Like, and I can like explain that to a random guy who's just like, you should go to school. But he also had like the same air of energy. Like he was maybe an immigrant and like English was his second language. And like, you know, there was just like it was strange, but I'll remember that because I just like, the energy was so scary to me. Like it was like battle music was playing. You know? And I was
my
like,
guy had a shiv on him, and I think he like semi-threatened me a couple times to kill me. But like he was so out of it that it's like I don't even know if it was a threat or not.
Yeah.
It was just like, are these hypotheticals?
yeah. Well, how did he like approach you with that?
It was like, you know, I could kill you or I could stab you right now.
Yeah.
You know? Or whatever he said. It's somewhere out there. People captured it.
Yeah, it's like,
know?
yeah, we do have free will.
I'm like, is this a threat? Or like, it's just a fun fact he's sharing?
That's like crazy to me. I was like, you know, I could just kill you right now.
I think people should do more intrusive thought hypotheticals. You know how like it's normal to have intrusive thoughts?
Yeah.
Where like, you know, you're standing with your homie somewhere and you're like, man, I could just push him off and he'd die. You know, and then you're like, why am I thinking this? And it's like, it's precisely that you're choosing not to do that. It's like a, you know,
It's a healthy brain.
it's a healthy thing.
It
You're
lets
running
you know
through
scenarios. And stuff.
So I think we should start vocalizing that.
Yeah.
As like, I could kill you right now.
Yeah.
Or like, I could stab you right now or whatever. I think that'd be cool because it's like.
That guy was free. He was free of that. Yeah.
He was free of that. Yeah. Yeah. Just like.
I say like the weirdest shit. Like when I get like, I have like bad memories or something, I'll just like blurt out something to like make it go away.
Oh yeah.
So it's low-key kind of Tourette's, but I'm not like saying it is fully that. But like if I have like, it's like a memory that like it's like touching a stove, I'll like say something.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if like you heard me in the shower the other day, but I was just like, pussy. Because, you know, like I had a bad memory. Like I remember like an awkward encounter. So in order to make it go away, I was just like, pussy.
That's so funny. I do that sometimes. I say pussy, but specifically like, I don't remember where it's from, but early internet, I remember pussy. Like the pussy. One of my friends had it as a button that they would just mash on Skype all the time. Just pussy. So I was thinking about that in the shower today.
Oh, interesting. That they was
what the fuck.
We have like, I don't know, like we just have like a weird wave. Like remember when we were talking to C earlier and I was like Paul, and then you're like, that's not a Korean name.
And then she's like, literally, I have my one Korean friend is Paul.
Yeah, and it was just like random.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. That is crazy.
There is just like something in the air, I guess. But like, I like that. I like when I can like be with someone and then speak and they're like, I was just thinking that. And like, you just go with it.
You have an orange aura.
Okay. I thought you were going to be like, you have an orange. Like,
you have an orange. Beyond your ear. Yeah. You have like a bright orange aura, but you also have like, I feel like your aura is very colorful. It's more than just orange. It's just the orange is the most prominent color I can think of.
I remember when we were talking about auras with Bill once, he was like, you look like a rainbow to me. And I was like, are you calling me gay?
Yeah, I think he was just being homophobic. Yeah.
He's like, no, it's just like you have everything. And I was like, okay.
He was just, that was the soft core version of the F slur.
Yeah. It was very it was very subtle.
Yeah. He's very much like that. He's very passive aggressive.
Yeah. What's the most passive aggressive thing Bill's ever done to you?
I don't think Bill is passive aggressive. He can be petty with like.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd ever be petty with me. I think he can be like, man, fuck this guy, you know, or whatever. Like, that's the... No,
I feel like I could be petty. You've seen me be petty.
Yeah. I'm petty. Yeah. You're petty, but I don't think of Bill.
We don't be petty to each other.
No.
We be pretty to each other.
Yeah, pretty to each other and one another, but petty to everyone
What were you
else.
going to say beforehand? I feel like I cut you off.
No, you're good. I was saying I don't think Bill is petty. You mean before we talked about
it was like about
petty?
auras and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I was just saying, I think your aura is that. I was wondering, I was like, oh, well, brown is kind of like orange.
Brown is like a shade of orange.
Yeah, you know, it's just like a darker shade of orange. That's all. I'm like, oh.
But like, I actually like brown. I like beige. I like things that look like the desert. I'm really attracted to the desert right now. Like I go there at least like once a season just to see a change. Yeah. So I've been really. Have you ever been to Joshua Tree?
Yes.
Yeah, I really like Joshua Tree. Like it feels magical. So it does. I like just walking around there.
I love redwoods.
I haven't been up there yet. I've been wanting to go.
You got to go up there. Oh,
like I just like nature in general.
Epic. Yeah, me too. We got to go together. I'm going to Hawaii soon.
Yeah, and I told you, just let me know. I'll show up.
Well, your schedule's kind of busy unless you're ready to go the first week of February or something.
Yeah, that's like I think I have
the week before your birthday.
You know what I have to do? I have to like sit down and release something.
You do.
I've been sitting on like thousands of songs. Like I think like it's literal thousands. Like there was a time I changed my FL Studio projects to make sure they're on my cloud drive. So it's just like in the cloud because like FL Studio projects are just like code to like let you know like, oh, you put this here. Last time I checked, it was like getting close to 2,000 FL Studio projects.
Why don't you put out a series called In the Cloud Volume 1
the Cloud
or something, right? And each version, each volume you put out has somewhere between 10 and 20, maybe just 10 or just like 14 songs. But the best of the best, or in a specific style or something.
Well,
the
thing I wanted to do was mixtapes of genres, because like I do mostly dance. Like we were talking about, like your main love is hip hop, and my main love is dance. And like they do mix. Like we were watching like the old school like break beat. Break dancing
stuff. Yeah, b-boy shit.
And it was like when it was like first like they were like the amoeba was splitting up, but they were still combined. You know?
Yeah, for
sure. So like they were rapping on top of dance beats, and they're like popping and locking So like we do have like if you look at the tree of music, like we are connected through that
for sure. And I feel like every few years or every other year there's like someone who raps over like a dance kind of beat, you know, and that shit always kind of slaps. People are like,
so
oh, fuck.
we're far enough away from like the EDM burst of the 2010s. What did you think when like it was all like EDM rap that was on the radio?
Fucking hated it.
Really?
Bro.
You were like the antithesis of that?
Yeah, I'm not big on EDM rap. Especially, I feel like the people who were dipping their toes into that were either people who weren't really good at rap, and that's why they were starting out there, or people who are good at rap and were viewing it as an just like as a little, oh, that's popping right now. I guess I could try to do something like that. But they didn't really, but they weren't really in the shits like that. So the shit was kind of lame.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where my opinions lie.
It took me a while, like during the time, like that's when I was like, you know, in my indie phase. We're talking about like indie. So I was like, I want to listen to everything but country and rap.
Yeah.
But that's when I was like a teenager. So I was like way more closed minded. Remember we were talking about this? We took a test, the autism test. And it was like, some of them were like, oh, before I was an adult, like teenager, I was different. Like I was more, I guess, closed off to the world and like afraid to be open about it. Yeah. But then like I started really getting into hip hop and other alternative, you know what? Also like queer music too, because there is like a distinct thing where it's like, you know, a person's identity and who they are really reflects in their music. So I started listening to a lot of more dance and a lot more hip hop, indie rock, singer songwriter. Also the most experimental shit. Like I was looking at like, you know, with vaporwave, that was a experimental new genre. Yeah. And like it does have its roots in hip hop, which Chopped and Screwed. It's like, you know, everything is kind of like,
there's a lot of overlap. I mean, with plunderphonics in general, right? There's like, I feel like it's at the center of the Venn diagram. Plunderphonics could be anywhere. To me, plunderphonics is just like noodling with not necessarily instruments, but with already like...
Yeah. Like, okay, here's an example. I played this music festival last year called I2K. It was the first Frutiger Aero Vaporwave music festival in Richmond, Virginia. And I helped get the Airbnb for all the artists. And it was like this really nice, like... There was two houses across the street from each other, and each one had like I think 5 rooms, and like they had bunk beds everywhere, so everyone could just be in like an area together, and we're all partying. And then I remember specifically choosing the one that had instruments in there, so it had like a full like it had guitars, it had like a recording area, it had like a piano that also was like a mixer and had like built-in drums. Like it was like really cool stuff, like very 2000s. So I get it, and I start playing there, and then I realized out of all the musicians that I was hanging out with, I was the only one that actually knew how to play instruments.
Damn.
Because they were all plunderphonics. They all sampled. They all used their, what is it? SP...
404?
Yeah, the 404s. And like a lot of it was just chopping up samples. And that's all they did was chop up samples, make beats that way. And I was like, it was actually kind of crazy. And like a lot of the idea I think about is like, a lot of people don't have access to music equipment, but want to make music. Yeah. And in situations like that, it's not necessarily like, it's like an economic thing, you know, like if you could make music on your phone, you could cut up beats on your phone, whatever you have, the tools in which you have reflects the art you make. Like we were talking about like, you know, hip hop in the early days had that sound because of the technology they had. Yeah.
The limitations breed creativity. And honestly, there's like, I have worked with people who have built entire fan bases off of just like recording their vocals directly onto their phone, mixing it on the phone and putting the song out through their phone. Yeah, that is awesome to me. I really like it. Like you know that one dude that like, guess what? I'm JB. Have you ever seen that? Like the dude who's like kind of he's uncoded. He's dancing. He's outside. There's like a mic hanging like this.
Yeah, he's like,
well, guess what? I'm JB. Hey. Man, I'm trying to. You ever seen the Biddy hit her knees?
Biddy hit her knees?
Yeah. No. But guess what? I'm JB. That guy. He recorded that joint on his phone, for instance. I mean, I'm trying to think of like a new example. So that's what I was thinking of. But like,
I think one of the more famous examples is Steve Lacy recorded like a Grammy award-winning guitar record on their iPhone. Just like.
Yeah, there you go. There's that. Also, I'm pretty sure, like, there's many such cases out there, and I do like that. I like the accessibility.
Yeah. I think so that's how when I go into making music with someone, especially collabing, it's always like no, what's the word? no preconceived notions, no expectations. It just happens.
Yeah.
But recently I try to collab with more people, but like, I don't know if this is like something we can talk about. You know, we'll talk about it anyways, but it's like, I know when people like I'm being used and they don't really care about me.
I know what you mean.
So like, it's all
I'm pretty
energy.
bad with that. I'm pretty bad.
Are you? Like you can't detect like, oh, they're just really nice to me.
Okay, maybe it's not that. Sometimes I suspect people might be taking advantage of me, but I kind of make the decision to like, it's okay. They're taking advantage of me because the world has shaped them into the kind of person that feels it necessary to take advantage of others because they're not trusting. But if they see that I let them in time and time again and I'm, you know, patient with them, maybe they'll get to a point where they trust me enough to communicate with me, to not like use me, but to actually like engage me, you know?
Because like I'm the type of artist where it's like I want to be really close with the people I make art with. Like, you know, friendship, at least talking, like, you know, mutual exchange of energy. But like sometimes people are just like business.
Many such cases.
And so it'll just be DMs like, I want your sax on my track. And it's like, you didn't even ask me like, how's your day going?
Yeah. Or like sometimes people will work with you. Almost it feels like to take a check, like
a check mark, like you're just another notch.
That's definitely happened with me. There's instances where like I've been reached out to, and they'll work with me like once or something, you know, and it feels like, oh, I did a song with Rav or whatever.
Like here's one of the things that I think about with like having a creative life. Most of my close friends are musicians, and we've never collabed. We just hang out together. We don't like purposely go like we need to make something together. Like a lot of the collaborations I do end up doing, a lot of it is like I have strengths that artist sees, and like we're close enough that we could do that together. True. Like me and Hi, I'm Chris. Like I mix and master all his stuff, and like we bounce stuff back and forth with each other. Now he's working on a new project with someone else, and like it's cool because like I'm not gonna be like possessive of him and be like I need to mix and master you. It's like learn, experiment, grow, see where things go. You know?
Yeah.
So, but then there's other people that they just hit me up and it's like I just want your sax, or like, oh, can I remix your song and get like, you know, this percentages of it, and like. This is like when it gets like really businessy, like I feel like the people that have lasted the longest are people that have like a true appreciation and love for the craft, where they don't even see the monetary gains of it. They see it as I need to create and put my stuff out there.
Yeah.
But we were talking about something earlier about like what are our boundaries, and then me and you both were like, oh yeah, we don't even know, honestly.
Yeah, I kind of figured them out. I usually I like to get a sense of other people's boundaries and then work around that. Yeah. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like, I'm flexible enough where let's establish what your boundaries are. Because I'm flexible. You know, I want to see, like, I don't know. That's kind of how my mind works. Yeah. Because I feel like I live pretty comfortably and cozy, and I deliberately make my life very cozy and comfortable, but you know, the last few years, the way I've lived, I can also absolutely just like sleep on the floor and do this, that, and the third. I'm flexible in many regards, and I like to think I'm the same way with just interacting with people. And it's something I'd like to work on, though, because I do think there's got to be stronger defined boundaries for myself. I just don't really think about it too much.
Yeah, I don't think about it either, because it's almost like putting borders. And I feel like I don't really have borders on me as an artist.
I just naturally start like moving away from certain people.
Yeah, if the vibe is off, I'm like, I can't be there.
Yeah, it's more of a vibe check for me for sure. Yeah.
But I do think of it as like, you know, I've done everything from like acting. I think of a lot of improvisation, like especially with music, is very opening. It's like, you know, the whole like yes and thing. So I'm always being like, yeah, let's just go and see what happens.
Yeah, going with the flow is the way to go.
Yeah, we be flowing.
Yeah, and.
Yeah, and yes, and
moaning and
bouncing on it,
bouncing and moaning. Yeah,
you know what? Where I'd love to go with you is like one of those like trampoline parks.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah,
you know where we should go sometime? The strip club.
Okay,
just to support the locals.
Yeah. My favorite thing about walking past a strip club is there was just like vomit on the floor that was frozen.
I saw that.
And
it was
like,
so crazy.
It looked low-key delicious. Like chocolate.
Did you ever read what it said on the door? It said hundreds of beautiful girls and 3 ugly ones.
Those are the ones I'm gonna give all my money to.
Dude, I've made that joke a lot. I was just like, I want to go in there and be like, can you give me the 3 ugly ones schedules?
Yeah.
Like when do they come through? You know, when's their slot? I wanna give them some love.
Yeah. I actually had a friend who was a stripper, and she told me that one of her like, what are they called? Like the guys that get dances? Do they have like a name? Clients?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Would email her buildings that he said reminded him of her.
That's super autistic.
Yeah, but I thought it was really beautiful.
It is beautiful.
So like, and then afterwards, like whenever like I want to, you know, rizz up someone, I'll be like, this building reminds me of you.
Girl, are you the Twin Towers? Because I'm about to take you down.
Yeah, like, see, that's great.
Yeah.
Your mind works so fast.
Well, thank you. I mean, that would be great to just. I like supporting people and saying sweet things to people and encouraging people.
You were talking, it's like a
buff.
A free buff.
A free buff. It takes almost no mana points, like, at all.
I'm a little like, what's the word? I'm a little hesitant though. I'm like, if someone's like, oh, you're this, that, I'm like, why are you rizzing me up? What's going on here?
I think it's a time and a place. Like, if I'm walking down the street and I chase someone down just to be like, hi, excuse me, ma'am, I just wanted to say, oh my God. Your outfit is incredible. You're stunning.
Yeah, your rack's amazing, sweetie.
Your fat tits.
Yeah, the fattest.
Your tits are wow. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Have a nice day.
Yeah.
And you can see it makes their day better, you know? And especially once you mention the tits, that's when they really light up.
Like, wow, no one ever says that anymore. You know what's funny?
Romanticism is dead. You know, I did want to say though, like, I have a few fans who are strippers.
Yeah,
and for those, if there are any others who've wondered this, like, oh, can I dance to your music? Obviously, yeah. You don't never have to ask.
Yeah, you can dance to my music too. Here's a link.
I saw some people. I saw some of the videos of them dancing to my music, and I'm like, why are you dancing to this? Is sad.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's not what I would pick, but it's cool. Everybody's got like. Everybody views the world very differently.
Yeah, like sometimes I'll see my music and stuff and I cringe a little bit because like it's not like it reminded me, like I remember I had like when I released I Love Hating You, it was all about heartbreak and sadness. But like it resonated with some people where a guy like made a full like animated music video to it. Yeah. But the thing is, like, it's a song that I made and released because I was like, I need to release something. But it wasn't necessarily something I'd listen to all the time. So then, like, when I saw it again, I was like, oh, fuck, I forgot I had those feelings. Like, they're really dark feelings, too. It's like, how did it go? It's like, why the fuck are you always mad at me? And, like, it was all about, like, you know, being, like, there was, like, a frustration and sadness. And it was obviously, like, an unrequited love affair. And it got like kind of like, and like the person who drew it, like they got the same vibe, you know? And like, I guess they felt it in their life and had to like get it out. But then like, it's such a slap of like, it's not like I'm getting slapped in the face, but like when I see it's like it hurts because I remember how I felt then. And sometimes I don't want to be reminded of how I felt, but like I needed to get it out there.
Yeah. Do you think you would benefit from having like a secretary? Or a manager or something.
I wish I had someone who was like obsessed with me and like archived everything I did, but I don't really have that. I just have myself. So I'm like my own archivist.
No, but I mean specifically a secretary or a manager, as in someone to like, you know, be like, hey, don't forget you've got this event scheduled. Hey, you've got like respond to your fan emails on your behalf. And things like that. It
sounds fun, but my biggest issue with that, like whenever I try to work with people, is no one can manage me as good as I can manage me.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
Yeah. So like I think I told you this. I was like, yeah, early in my career I had a manager and then we like got in a fight over $100 and then we blocked each other. And this is like 2010. They even helped me by making a Wikipedia page for me.
Oh my God.
And then like it got taken down for lack of significance.
Dude, do you have a Wikipedia page now?
No.
Me neither. But there's like rappers whose Wikipedia pages you could go on, and my name's there.
Yeah.
I'm like in a few of the, like
I don't know. Sometimes like I feel like I have ops in the Wikipedia.
Me too, bro. Because
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? How do I not have a page?
Yeah, and
this
especially
point.
because like I have like so many, like both of us have so many connections to all these people within our world, and they're like, oh, you need like, I don't know, like a pigeons and planes article. You know,
I
what
know,
mean?
but like, yeah, that's crazy.
But the thing is,
like,
people buy those.
I charted on Billboard
Yeah.
before JPEG Mafia ever did. Multiple times, you know, like there's like certain accomplishments where I'm like, does this mean something?
Yeah, like,
And then it's like, no, it doesn't, unless you. And with the thing with the pigeons and planes and the pitchforks, from what I understand, there's basically two ways
Yeah.
of getting in there. You either already know someone in there and they basically put you on,
yeah,
or you hire a PR agency that specifically deals with those kinds of
yeah. In the end, it's all
Publications.
money.
yeah, you give them money and you have like a whole like marketing push to specifically targets that kind of
Yeah.
person, you know?
Like right now, I love doing everything myself because it feels so rewarding afterwards. Like I don't mind collaborating with others where it's like everyone has a specific task and job that they need to do. Like I could run a full music festival if I really wanted to. Like I could visualize how I'm going to micromanage all these people, how I get everyone in, email chains, Discord servers, how to communicate, get information out there. It's just like, I do it when I feel the fire to do it,
Yeah. That's beautiful. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm pretty much the same. Do you ever get anxiety as an
No.
artist at all? Never.
Never.
Okay. Do you ever think to yourself like, oh man, like how long do I get to keep this for? You know what I mean?
What's funny is like I have a very close friend I talk to like every day who kind of has that mentality, but I would always like, but what if it doesn't? Like, like he was always like, things might not last forever. But then at the same time, like I'm kicking myself because I want to say like 2020 me didn't take a lot of risks because I was like, what if I won't make it? What if I won't go places? What if I won't do this? And then the universe goes in other ways. Is like, no, but what if I give you like, absurd, experiences that help you? What's the word? It's like the opposite of like, it's like with an A.
The opposite of what?
Abundance. What if the world just gives you so much abundance? And like this whole time I was just like saving what little things I had when like the world just could have just unraveled for me. I don't like thinking negative. Like I grew up with like a definitely what's it called? Scarcity mentality of not having enough.
Yeah.
You have to save, you have like what if scenarios. Like I think I have a good enough nest egg that I'll be okay, but it's like also at any given time, like what if I just come into like what if like I make something where the next day it becomes mega viral and it becomes the #1 song of like the 20th century. 21st, I guess. I don't know what century.
Yeah.
But like anything's possible. Anything could just happen. One of my old songs could just blow up because like a famous person uses it in their TikTok. And it's like at that point, like I was thinking so small in the previous years. It's like, oh, I only got these many plays. Like for all I know, next year I could get 100 times the plays. One of the things that scared me, I've never talked about this publicly. Did we talk about this where someone tried to steal my entire music catalog by pretending to be me?
Yeah, I remember you.
Yeah, so that was like one of those moments where I was like, holy shit. Like everyone was like, oh, things might not last. That was a moment where I was like, oh shit, things might not last. I might get all my shit taken away from me because like someone claiming to be me scammed me. And so that's why I'm very hesitant with when people are like, a little too, just a little too nice. It's all vibes,
Yeah.
So like, I'm like, why are you being nice? Because also I don't like telling my L's publicly. Like I don't like letting people know my struggles because I don't want to be like, oh, Frank's struggling. And like my struggles are personal.
Yeah, dude. I hate the fact that there are certain things that are said about me online, like that I had never volunteered about myself.
Yeah.
Like when I say struggles, we try to live together. We try to move in together in LA.
And we couldn't because of like our situations.
Yeah, and it's like we are rich. We're not rich. We're not crazy like rich, but we do very well for ourselves.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know, and it's so hard to secure a home in certain places because it's not about that. It's more to it, you know, than just money. It's like assurances that are kind of harder to provide to people when you're an independent artist, self-made artist. And so I don't, you know, I don't like to talk about like, oh, well, because of that, like I was kind of having to go from Airbnb to Airbnb or hotel to hotel. And then because then when people dislike you,
they use it against you. Yeah.
They turn to that and go like, well, that's another indication that you don't have your shit together or this or that or the third, you know?
It's like they weaponize your own problems against you. Cause like, that's one of the reasons why I don't complain on the internet is because I know so many people have it much worse than me. And so what I try to do is create like, I try to heal people. I realize that like my silliness on the internet makes people feel better, whether they, you know, like that's why I try to be like lighthearted and not too serious about things.
Yeah. I think I agree with you in terms of like how I present myself on social media and stuff like that. Very much, I'm just being silly. I just want you to chuckle, maybe let some air out your nose while you're scrolling.
It's also a decade of just being online. You know, we've developed this kind of like code of ethics and like how we present ourselves in like a mature way. Because when I was younger, I was really dumb. I still go through my old Facebook profile stuff where it's like I was posting like 25 times a day. But at the same time, it's because I didn't have an audience or people that, you know, followed me.
Right.
And so now all these years later, it's like, you know, my career has ups and downs. It goes all around. Like when we were streaming the other day, someone's like, who is Frank? And I was like, how do I even start? Cause like I've created all this content. I've had it taken down. I've done stuff like it always fluctuates. It moves so, I was going to say rapidly, but like recently.
It's how do you say it? Like, when someone says like, who are you or what do you do? It's like, all right, how much time do you have?
Yeah. Cause it's like lore.
If you don't have much time, you're a musician.
Yeah, a musician.
But if you have more time than that, then like there's history.
Like, here's the history. Here's the lore. So that's why I told you I've been archiving myself. I write a lot too. So I have like every time I have like a big, you know, checkpoint in my life, I write about it, how I feel, what was going through my head. Then I look back at it years later. I'm like, damn. It's so funny hindsight, like our present past, like our present right now, if we could talk to ourselves in like, you know, 2021, 2018, 2014, and told them the story of where we've come from, it's like, it's so vast.
Yeah.
If you could go back in time and talk to your, like, I don't know, 18-year-old self, what would you tell them?
18-year-old self.
Me, I would go back and be like, you're gay, and then disappear.
Give him a wedgie.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that. The you're gay one is a good one. I think I wouldn't.
Yeah.
If I could, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then you would like the branch would change.
I just feel like he figured it out.
Yeah.
You know, so like he doesn't need a device from me.
That's good.
But if I had to give him advice, I'd be like, don't trip so much.
Yeah.
You're like you've got all the right ingredients.
You know what I would say too, like on that, where it's like being like, oh, I got all the right ingredients. Like one of the things I would love to have told myself back then is everything that comes to you, everything that's like 100% you is right.
Yeah.
Like just creatively, artistically, like how you feel and putting it out there is just right. There is no like wrong answer of being yourself.
Oh, I would say this to me actually. Back your fucking shit up on a cloud.
Yeah, that's why I'm doing that.
Because I lost a whole fucking album that way. I still don't back shit up enough. Because I'm like, as soon as like I'm working on something and I get a little bit bored or a new idea, I'm like, I save and open up a new one.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't think about it at the end like, all right, I should drag and drop these. I should just like get into the habit of doing that though.
Yeah, my habit is that's why I have so many projects, because I just save them and I start a new one.
Yeah,
so I have a bunch of like songs that are at like 50% to me.
Yeah, I have a bunch that are like anywhere between 10% to sometimes 90% finished.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yippee.
Well, Frank, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. How long have you been talking?
1 hour and 4 minutes.
Okay, is that like
Ish.
normal?
An hour. Yeah, we usually do an hour free portion YouTube, and then we do an hour behind the paywall over on the Patreon. Please consider going on VOIDFM.net and subscribing to our Patreon. We have tons of content on there. All right, well, on that note, again, Frank, thank you so much for coming through.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's always nice having you.
The following is a preview of this week's Patreon exclusive episode. Available now over on the Void FM podcast Patreon.
I'm hitting the record button.
What up, y'all?
Welcome to the Void FM game night. Yeah! Are you guys ready to jack some box?
Y'all ready to play some Jackpot?
Y'all are dawdling with your doodling for real.
Dude, it was hard, okay? I
My
put a lot of
drawing's
work.
really scuffed.
I thought it said portable! Fuck! Oh!